Zone A.
Team.
You captured Zone A.
Where is he? Ah! No, that'll be mine. And they are taking our
Zone
B.
Lost.
Apparently they have not heard this is
You
5B.
captured Zone B.
That's space magic. So is the scout rifle the best gun in the game? So we're here to find out. I'm going to be talking about the recent weapon changes that went into effect about last week. I doubt many players know about it. Bungie was fairly quiet with the deal. And then I'm going to be giving you Destiny Crucible tips to take your game to the next level. The skill gap in this game is ridiculous. The players who know what they're doing are just tearing up the players who don't. And I'm seeing too many folks who are playing Destiny like they play Halo, COD, or Battlefield, and they're just getting wiped, man. They're having a horrible time because they're just, well, they're not in the know. So after this video, you should all be wiping the floor with those little newbies. So the scout rifle this last week got a bit of a buff, 6% damage increase against combatants. It also has improved target acquisition as well as additional recoil tuning. Now what all that mumbo jumbo means is that the Destiny developers wanted to see the scout rifle being used more often in the Crucible. Make no mistake, this was a PvP patch. Auto rifles have dominated the Crucible. Why? Because they're the best, most versatile weapon right now in Crucible. Is this buff enough to warrant you spending a ton of marks over at the Crucible Quartermaster to pick up a new scout rifle? And after extensive testing, I'm gonna say no. On the larger maps, yeah, the scout is really good if you play to its benefits, but you have to go for headshots and you have to be deadly accurate to make this gun work at anything closer than mid-range. Engagements will be awkward, and if you ever are trying to go and fight two people at once, the scout rifle is just cumbersome at times. I'm going to say for 95% of the player population, they don't have the accuracy to properly utilize the scout rifle and will end up frustrated more times than not. Doesn't mean you can't practice with the gun, but if you're going to save up and spend money on something from the Quartermaster, I would still highly recommend buying the auto rifle, which I feel to be far superior. With that said, most of Destiny's maps are small to mid-range. Only the Moon and the large Mars map is really even the only maps that I would consider using the scout rifle on. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to perform better with the auto rifle unless you're one of those really top tier players who purposely picks the scout to play a scout playstyle. So is the scout OP? The answer is no. Auto rifles are still the top dog in Crucible multiplayer. And if you're going to spend your hard-earned marks, buy an auto rifle. And as we wrap up here on the Moon, there's your frenzy. Check out this Sunsinger Warlock. Do not use this stall in the air ability. Just don't. Don't use that. Let's look at the gear that I was showing you. Simple blue foresight. I picked blues for all these clips just to show you that gear is not everything. A simple blue auto rifle, same as any Shinjin, any easy Cryptart drop you're gonna get this blue with. All these clips are not with crazy expensive gear. A lot of people think you need expensive nice gear to succeed in the Crucible, and you absolutely do not. It comes down to how well you understand Destiny. The players who know how to play are going to wipe the floor with those that don't. And if you come into the Crucible unprepared trying to play this like COD, Halo, or Battlefield, you're gonna bottom frag all night. You'll sit at the bottom of the leaderboards and be frustrated. Don't let that happen. Pick up heavy ammo every single time it spawns. Don't question this. There's too many players who leave this sitting on the map when it is free guaranteed kills. The HMG is far better than the rockets in my opinion because you can get 5 to 6 to 7 kills off of a pickup. Oh, did I mention headshots? Because that is Destiny multiplayer. Only those with the accuracy to go for the headshot each time will have success. If you're shooting bodies, you're going to struggle in 80 to 90% of your gunfights. You have to shoot for the head. The damage multiplier is too strong, and if you're going for body shots, you're going to lose most of your engagements. Yes, this requires accuracy. That's crazy. Destiny time to kill is different than any other shooter, so you have to be careful. That is, unless you're super sub. Destiny supers are incredibly powerful and give you the ability to kill multiple enemies at once. Now that isn't the case when your super is down. Destiny is all about smart navigation based off of the radar and your teammates. This is not Rambo, and if you try and run into rooms going for 2 and 3 kills at once, you will lose. You must maneuver strategically with your teammates to fool your opponent into beneficial circumstances for them, situations they don't want to be in. Again, if you charge into a room of 2 or 3 people, they are going to slaughter you unless you have some sort of advantage. And that brings us to the radar, because that's where you get your smart advantages. A good Destiny player needs to be able to navigate and use the radar to their benefit. Here's the thing you must understand. In Destiny, if you see an enemy on your radar, they can see you. Even if you crouch, crouching only takes you off of the radar for a period of 5 seconds. You appear as a radar blip every 5 seconds. So if you try and crouch, like I see too many people doing, the opponent knows you're there. So with that said, everybody knows where everybody is. Therefore, you have to enter engagements ready for accuracy, ready to snap on target immediately, and a lot of times you have to be pre-firing where you think the enemy will be. This is why the old Halo technique of crouch and wait for them to come around the corner won't fly. You have to use the radar as a manipulative tool. Try and take a look at this and see how you can use the radar to entice enemies in. Oh yeah, don't forget that super.
You're crushing them. Send them home crying.
So a lot of the prediction with the radar comes through knowing the maps, which are fairly simple and represent a lot of the traditional Bungie Halo map-esque things, where there's about 3 lanes of traffic and 2 layers of height for most maps. Once you start learning where players are in correspondence with the radar, you'll predict where they will be, just like that, and get easy kills. I saw this guy in the upper right. There's only 2 spots that he can be. Now, if the radar is light red, they're on the same level as you. If it's bright red, then they're above or below you, which is fairly simple, and you'll learn it very quickly as long as you're aware of it. Okay, back to headshots. This is probably the most important takeaway from this video. In your gunfights, at short range, when you're really close up to the enemy, do not bother aiming down sights. It's too awkward and it's too slow. Hip fire. You hip fire your shots when they're in that close range. Usually when they're super close, you'll want to have your shotgun out for those really tight range engagements. But when it's close range, not enough for ADSing, you still aim for the head while hip firing. Here's the good news. The hit boxes in Destiny are quite a bit larger than the actual player models. So when you're shooting for the head, there's a lot of leeway. At mid-range, you aim directly for the head, where the nose would be, or right where the mouth would be on the opponent. And for long ranges, you want to aim a little bit lower, where their neck would be. Imagine they have a necklace that's almost a target, and that's where you want to aim for the long distance headshots. The recoil usually will put 2 or 3 where they need to go. I cannot stress this enough. Headshots are what make a strong Destiny player. You will win so many engagements if you begin practicing this. But the difficulty, of course, is that you must have the accuracy to back this up. Good Destiny players go for the headshots, and they can hold on target really well. You want to set yourself up for as many engagements as possible where you get the advantage on the enemy, whether that be the element of surprise, or you actually just get shots on them first, or you hit them from an angle they're not expecting. In Destiny, the time to kill is fairly high in contrast with COD, even in contrast with Halo to a certain degree. What this means is that you have to pick fights where you can win. A lot of times, you'll be running and chasing an enemy, and you'll see 2 more blips on the radar. You are not going to win. Unless the opponents are just freaking terrible, you are not going to win 3-on-1s in Destiny multiplayer. And if you do, the opponents you're playing are terabad. It doesn't work that way. You are going to have to fall back and try and regroup with your team pretty often. That movement and the manipulation of the radar operates on 2 levels. Number 1, can I catch a player off guard? And number 2, if I'm being chased, and it's more than 2 people, or sometimes even just 2 people, I need to fall back to my teammates. The trick from Halo of looking at the floor while running lowers your head hitbox, so I encourage you use this if you're fleeing away from enemies while taking damage. I guarantee you, if you start falling back towards your teammates a little bit more often than you do charging into rooms of 2 or 3 people, your success, kill death, and objective wins are going to go through the roof. You will spend less time in the respawn screen and more time poning the other players who don't know what's up. And that really is the beauty right now, is there's a ton of players who don't know what's up, who are doing silly things. And do not chase. It shouldn't have to be said that often. It's a very basic PvP rule of thumb, but Destiny will punish you very hard if you chase. Shotguns close up, one-hit kill. Fusion rifles are one-hit kills. Do not give the opponent the chance to lure you around the corner just so you can take a boomstick to the face. And that does bring us to the supers. You will die to supers and it will feel unfair, and you're going to have to get over it. Supers are sometimes very hard to see and even harder to dodge. Blade Dancer is ridiculously hard to stop. But here's the thing, everybody has a super. So don't get mad, shake it off, and just know that's a part of the game. The sooner you can get over this and not let frustration overtake your emotions when you're like, that was BS, that Titan just blew me up. Relax. That's actually part of the fun with Destiny PvP, is the fact that everybody does have basically a one-button kill. There's no need to get upset about it. There will be times that you get killed and there was nothing to do about it. The sooner you get over this, the sooner you can get on to winning. Every game I showed you today, I was playing solo. In the last 2 weeks, I wanted to show the best gameplays I could for this tip video using just blues, not nice gear, and just myself. It's totally possible. Don't let frustration get to you, as it does too many players. This final game, you can see we're losing. I was rather frustrated and I wanted to give up, but then the interceptor spawned and I said, you know what? Let's go for this. Let's give it all we got. And at the end, well, I'll let the gameplay speak for itself. So when you walk away and you're going to practice the Crucible, here's the things you need to remember. Headshots, you need to practice them. The sooner you implement this, the sooner you're going to see results. I promise you, this can change your Destiny Crucible experience overnight. If you're shooting bodies, you can't do this, and you're going to lose a lot of gunfights. The radar, it's crucial. If you see them, they see you. So you need to play this differently. Destiny is very confrontational. People gravitate to one another. Be ready for this. Pre-aim. Know the spots where they're going to be before you come around the corner, and don't crouch waiting for them. And finally, know your limits. You cannot do the Rambo thing. You have to pick your engagements wisely. Sometimes that means playing patient and falling back to your teammates. Sometimes it means coming into a room of 4 people with a super up. You have to make those calls. And that's what I have for you today, Guardians. It's a good place to start, and I really feel strongly about this. I've spent a lot of time working on this video to try and make sure that I didn't give you BS or fluff or something. I can guarantee you, these tips do work, and the Crucible can become a beautiful place once you start understanding Destiny PvP for what it is, a unique, challenging experience with a large skill gap. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As I said, I put a lot of weeks of effort into this to try and bring you solid tips. If you found this helpful, please let me know with a like or a comment or even a share with a friend. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Have an excellent day, and I will see you next time. Good luck. Have fun.